It's time.
You're listening to the What the Elf Was That podcast, an iconoclastic look at the latest Cleveland Browns news. The What the Elf Was That podcast is part of the Fanatical Elves podcast network, a part of the Fans First Sports Network. Here's your host, Joel Cade.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of What the Elf Was That? As always, I am joined here by John Suchan. John, say hello. Tell us about yourself.
Let's see. I have a birthday coming up on next week, Tuesday. So if anybody wants to send me gifts, I'm an old man, so send them my way.
My birthday is Saturday. So,
dude. No way.
You can get me some gifts too.
I need to get you something.
Yeah, you get me like some Browns tickets or something.
Well, we might have a few tickets actually because I'm credentialed with Northeast Ohio Sports Insiders, so I will have some tickets available, Joel, in the upcoming games. Might have to stay in touch.
We may have to talk. All right. Well, anyway, hey, another edition of What the Elf Was That? So, John, let's just start with the game last week. I want to talk, first of all, before we get to the big thing that's up on, I want to talk about Myles Garrett. So what was your thought on Myles Garrett last week?
He's having a hell of a season. I did not get to see the game. I was up in Buffalo. I saw the tail end of the game, so I'll just start with that. So I was not there. First off, I want to ask a question back to you after I answer my question is this whole thing that he does with when he gets the sack, what is he?
I have no idea what that is. Maybe he's like opening an elevator door.
Opening a window, like are you like an elevator? Like no, I mean he's got what 15 sacks right now, and he can't be stopped. It doesn't seem like, and he's doing a lot of good things. The record he set at 22 and a half sacks a year or two ago. I mean he can break that, and I don't know. I mean, Joel, I know you love Myles Garrett, so I want to hear what.
I have a love-hate relationship with Myles Garrett.
I know you do.
My Myles Garrett situation is always that quote from Forrest Gump. That has to be the stupidest son of a bitch alive, but he sure can play football. I mean, like, I don't care what this dude says. If you're getting ready to start a franchise of football and you needed a defender, it is Myles Garrett. I have said for years he is like a moron. But if he would ever learn technique, because his first like 5 years, he was just going out there like, I'm a better athlete than you, and I can like just beat you because I'm a better athlete. I used to always say, like, if this guy could learn technique, he could possibly be the greatest defender to ever play.
I've heard you say that before. Yes,
he would just have to learn to play football. Myles Garrett has learned to play football, and he is now possibly the greatest football player to play defensive end in the NFL history. Like if I was going to say, okay, we're going to do a fantasy draft and we're going to pick one defensive end, who are you picking first? It is Myles Garrett. I would not even think about, I mean, you could like talk about Reggie White. You could talk about Bruce Smith. No way. I would take Myles Garrett. Like it's like a no-brainer. Myles Garrett. The guy goes out there, right?
Yeah.
And like, gets double teamed and triple teamed and still gets 4 sacks. He is doing stuff that we will never again see in the NFL. Yeah. I mean, people need to appreciate what they're watching when they see this man. He jumps over people and blocks kicks, strip sacks, like beating 3 blocks. Like this is the kind of stuff that makes him just possibly the greatest defender, least defensive lineman, defensive end in the history of the NFL. And we're watching him in his prime. By his prime, I mean he's right in that sweet spot where his athletic ability is still pretty high. His experience level is high and his technique level is high. And he is just completely owning the NFL. The problem is he's doing it on a team that's going to win probably 3 games this season.
Yep.
And like, nobody's going to appreciate it. Like that's the sad part of Myles Garrett. Like he is possibly having the greatest single season a defensive end has ever had in the NFL, and like nobody's watching it.
Yeah,
like,
no,
because the Browns can't figure out their quarterback situation, so nobody's watching it. It's actually pretty sad. Like, so I just want to say to every Browns fan out there, enjoy Myles Garrett while you have him. It's like watching Joe Thomas, right? He's possibly the best left tackle in NFL history, but he's on like a team that wins 2 games a season. Enjoy Myles Garrett because he is putting on a show that is absolutely legendary that nobody will probably ever be able to put on again ever in like our lifetime or any lifetime. And we get to watch it up close and center, and we just need to appreciate it. I mean, I know I have issues with him, but this man can play football. Like, he can play football. I'm giving him that.
No, I hear you. What about somebody else that's on the defense? Is Schwechsinger? Isn't he like every year? What do you
so I will say this: one of the things that's helping, you're going to talk about other people on the defense. Yeah. One of the things that's helping Myles Garrett this year, and I'm glad they like when I'm talking about Mason Graham. Mason Graham was drafted 5th overall, and I knew as soon as he was drafted, like this man was drafted to help Myles Garrett, because part of the problem Myles Garrett has had is that he'll come around the edge and the quarterback will just step up and run away. So you need somebody up front that can plug that crap up and keep him in the pocket. And that's exactly what Mason Graham is doing. Mason Graham is keeping that quarterback from running, escaping forward. And Myles Garrett's just getting the sacks. And he's just sack after sack after sack after sack. Yep. Like, if Myles Garrett wins the MVP, he needs to give half that trophy to Mason Graham, because Mason Graham is out there making it happen for him. He really is. I mean, it's not that Myles Garrett like wouldn't have been able to do it without Mason Graham, but you need a Mason Graham on that team. You need someone to plug up the middle to keep those quarterbacks from escaping forward, so the defensive end can run around and get him, or somebody in the front that will push that quarterback backward, like we saw with Shedeur, right? Run out the back. Then the defensive end gets to just pick up these easy sacks. I mean, TJ Watt does this all the time. He's got massive dude in the middle of the defensive line right there in Pittsburgh, creating all kinds of problems, and these guys are trying to escape out. TJ Watt just goes out and cleans up the trash. Like, he's the trash collector.
TJ Watt's a dirty player, man. Did you see that hit he had on Joe Flacco last week? That high hit he had.
Well, totally, you know what? I was watching I was watching the Ohio State game, and some Ohio State player ran in and hit somebody helmet to helmet. My first thought was, that's a Pittsburgh Steeler right there. That's a Pittsburgh Steeler.
Myles Garrett, though, you're right. I mean, the guy is
just
phenomenal.
Appreciate the beauty that we have in Myles Garrett while we have it, because it's not going to last forever. And these are stories that you're going to be able to tell your kids, grandkids. They can tell their grandkids they've seen this crap go down. I watch this with my son every week. I watch these games, and he's just like, I'll be telling my kids about stuff that Myles Garrett done. They won't even believe me that he jumped over a 6'4" offensive lineman and blocked punts and blocked field goals. And it's stuff that, like, you just need to see it to believe it. And at some point, somebody's going to look back and say, this guy was possibly the greatest defender to ever play in the NFL, period.
Yeah.
No, so that said, Carson Schlesinger is tremendous. He is tremendous. Like,
isn't he crazy? Like, good? Like, it's just nuts.
He is tremendous. He has like solidified that linebacker core. I mean, you guys remember going into the season, linebackers a question. He has come right in and resolved that right from the start. He is everywhere. There's like 6 of them on the field. He's always in the right position. He's always in the right position. Like, he's never out of position. Like Devin Bush, right? He gets out of position, gets a holding call, and a couple weeks back and gives him a first down because he's out of position. Right. That is not Carson Schlesinger. Carson Schlesinger is in position with the correct technique, doing what he needs to do. He does the little things that nobody else in this team does, which is why he is that much better than everyone else in this team, except Myles Garrett.
But for a rookie, I mean, what Carson Schlesinger is doing in his rookie season is just, and Mason Graham, not as much, but Carson Schlesinger is just everywhere.
Well, I think they're asking Mason Graham to do, he's just as good as Carson Schlesinger. I think you have number 1 and number 2 for defensive rookie of the year on your team right now. Like, Schlesinger's 1, Graham's 2. I mean, you can even say Graham 1 and Schlesinger 2. It's just Schlesinger's all over the field and it's more visible. I mean, Graham's defensive tackle, so unless you know what you're looking at, it's not going to make much sense as to why he should be like that. But he is that good up the middle right now for the Browns. So it's ridiculous. But anyway, we're coming up on 10 minutes, so let's take our break.
Okay.
So, all right, hang on, everybody. We'll actually get to the game, and we're going to preview the Las Vegas game. So just hang in there. All right, everybody, we're back. And you know what it is? It's Shedeur time. Now, John, what do you think about Shedeur time? Because I got some opinions on Shedeur time.
I love Shedeur, and I know, he came in. I know there was this whole thing about how he didn't get first team reps, but of course, every other quarterback under the sun has come out since and said it's common for the backup not to get the first team reps. But regardless of that, everybody got excited when he came in. I was excited. I was in Buffalo and found out while I was going to dinner that they had inserted him. A lot of the fans at the stadium, I talked to Lou Marconi, nobody knew why he was in. Now they say Dylan Gabriel had a concussion. I do believe I know where that happened. And that bothers me because there are some sports analysts, Cleveland local people that are trying to say, when did Dylan Gabriel get, concussion? Well, I can show you exactly when Dylan Gabriel
enlighten
got
our
concussed.
listeners.
There's and you guys out there, whatever the guy's name is, Zung, whatever the guy is, he's one of these Browns influencers, and listen, and he's the guy who hits the sports dummy behind him, and he's usually entertaining. Anyway, he was out.
What you're talking about.
Never mind. Well, so the deal is that people are speculating: is Dylan Gabriel really concussed, or is that a conspiracy so they could put Shedeur in? It's not. With 1:06 left in the first half, if you go back and rerun the clock or rerun the video, you will see that Dylan Gabriel had a play where he got out of the pocket and he went, and the opponent, the Ravens guys came at him, and Dylan Gabriel drove in with his helmet in the second quarter, right before the end of the half, hit the guy hard, like it was almost helmet to helmet. I'm sure that's where he was concussed. It happened right before the end of the first half. So all of you people out there talking about conspiracies, you're not very smart. You need to go back and watch the tape.
You don't need a conspiracy to change your quarterback. All you need is somebody to say, we're changing our quarterback. You don't need a conspiracy. You just need like a reason. I mean, I get it. I think there was a lot of stuff that went on that game that was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like Shedeur got hit in the head a couple of times by defenders and nothing was called.
Yeah.
There's that famous shot at the end of the game where the guy's off sides. Like there's a lot of stupidity that went on in that game. I don't know what the refs were doing. I don't know if like the biscuit man, Biscotti, the owner of the Ravens, decided he was going to pay off the officials. I mean,
right.
I don't know what was going on, but like the Ravens were getting away with a lot of crap at the end of the game. Yes. And I think they're just like, let's just get this game over with and go home. I have no idea. But there was a lot of stupid stuff going on. So I could see him getting hit in the head or being a part of a play where he's getting a headshot and nobody gives a crap because they're playing the Cleveland Browns. Like that mentality seems to be back in the NFL. But I was kind of frustrated with some of the penalties called and non-called. I kept telling my son, like, just watch. They're going to have this DeAndre Hopkins pass where they run the ball, run him down the field, throw the ball short so he has to turn around and jump in the defender to get a pass interference like they did the first time we played him this season. Like it's such a stupid play. I'm going to get into that. Because I have strong opinions on the stupid plays in the NFL. That's one of them.
Shedeur, no, I'm excited. I'm ready for it. I think, the kid I like the kid. I like listening to the kid. I know he's people are polarized by this figure and polarized by his dad and all of that. And I get that. The situation right in front of us right now, listen, I mean, this kid has a lot of potential. Is he going to be prepared to beat the Las Vegas Raiders? Maybe, maybe not. I'm hoping for a little bit of magic. I'm hoping for a little bit of a miracle. Obviously, people want to revert right back. They want to bring up Baker Mayfield. Well, Baker Mayfield came in and he was zipping passes, and you could tell. Well, just keeping this in mind that Baker Mayfield is a really good quarterback, but Baker Mayfield isn't taking anybody to the Super Bowl yet, and he's probably not going to do it anytime in the near future. So while somebody like Baker Mayfield is pretty good, let's give Shedeur. Every quarterback is a little different. And I want to give this kid some chances. It sounds like Kevin Stefanski is working with this kid. Obviously, there's a big upside, but he's got to learn a lot, and he's being thrust into the spotlight now. It's his game. I expect there to be a lot of mistakes. I expect him, some people will really bash that. But for me as a fan, Joel, I'm hopefully it'll be entertaining. Hopefully the kid has learned in a couple games not to run 20 yards backwards and get annihilated and sacked.
I'll just say this about Shedeur Sanders. We didn't see anything in that game that we hadn't seen from any other rookie quarterback in the NFL on any team anywhere.
Yeah.
Okay. He runs that backward out of the pocket. Freaking, I'm not going to cuss, but like the dude in Jacksonville, what's his name? Thor looking dude, man, with the blonde hair, played at Clemson.
Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence. He still runs backward out of the pocket. He still does that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, and he still only escapes to the right. And that's been the game plan against the Jaguars, is to force him out of the pocket and sack him because he runs backwards and to the right.
Sure.
So, like, people still do what he's doing. So I would say this, that like Shedeur Sanders is not up to time yet. And that's a rookie thing, right? He's in a high precision timing offense and he's holding on to the ball too long.
Right.
That's his problem right now.
Right.
And that's the problem of anybody that comes into this offense and is forced to throw the football, right? You have 3 steps. You got to marry your steps, your drop back steps, to the rhythm of the passing game. And he's not doing that. And he's not doing that because he's not anticipating. And he's not anticipating because he hasn't had to anticipate, because he's been athletic enough to run around until somebody is open. Well, now he's in the NFL. And now he's going to have to, now it's a level playing field, right? Everybody's just as athletic as he is, if not more. And so he's going to have to learn the proper techniques. And I don't want to make the comparison because I don't want to like pump anybody up, but in a lot of ways, he's coming into the NFL the same way Myles Garrett came into the NFL, right? He's very athletic, very gifted athletically, but he doesn't play football well. Okay. Myles Garrett can get away with that because he's so good athletically. He can just go out there and dominate. And now that he's learning how to play football, he's just like I said when he was drafted, this guy could be the greatest football player to ever play a defense in the NFL, right? He's got to learn how to play football. And Shedeur's got to learn to play football. And I think Jeffrey, his comment is absolutely right. His processing is slow. He's going to have to learn to see what's in front of him, pre-snap, post-snap, and be able to get to the ball to the right place in the right time. Yeah. And until he can do that, we don't know what he's going to do. But there's nothing we saw last week, positive or negative, that we hadn't seen any other rookie in the NFL do. So nobody should be writing him off as like he's toast, and nobody should be saying that this man is the hero of all heroes. The only thing I think we can really say is that he's fun to watch.
You don't know what the kid's going to say.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry. Yeah, he's usually pretty positive. If you listen to his press conference today, he was upbeat, positive. He said that he thinks he's the guy. And look, I mean, I'm happy. The kid's 22, 23 years old. I mean, he's going to say that. And, it's fun. It's going to keep people captivated who are sliding the Browns. And, I like it. I think that this kid has the potential. Will he be given the opportunity? I think he's going to get that right now. I want him to have a hell of a game because I want Kevin Stefanski to let him continue to play. I'm not my fear
that he will get every opportunity he earns. His issue is that he does not mold well with Kevin Stefanski. Kevin Stefanski wants someone like Dylan Gabriel. He understands what's going on pre-snap, understands what's happening post-snap, can diagnose it, and then boom, throw it. The problem with Dylan Gabriel is that he has no athletic ability whatsoever to play in the NFL, right? I mean,
I'm sorry. The other thing about this is that it goes back. Really perception. The kid's a lefty, and so people are just, including me, when I'm watching the games on TV, him being a lefty, it throws everything off from what we're accustomed to seeing quarterbacks. And so I think that has something to do with this perception of Dillon Gabriel being crap. I will give Dillon Gabriel a little bit of credit. When he was in there in that game the other day, he did make a couple nice passes down the field to a couple receivers that went beyond, 15 yards. Mm-hmm. So I am pleased with that. Is he a lifetime backup? For sure.
Oh, yeah.
But Shedeur, he could be a lifetime backup, but with his name and with his dad being primetime, the kid is going to be a starter throughout his career. And I don't think his career is over. I think this career is just getting started.
Oh, yeah. If anybody says his career is over, it's crazy.
Oh, I just think these people are just nuts for complaining about him.
Need to turn those people off. They're not rational, right?
I mean, the reaction, Joel, at the stadium, was overwhelming. People were so excited that the euphoria at that moment was really good. And I think most fans are eager to see this kid continue to develop.
I just think at the NFL level, you got to keep a few things in mind. One, this is entertainment. The NFL is going to tell you it's entertainment, and that's what it is. So Shedeur Sanders is good for entertainment. Two, he's a rookie, right?
Yeah.
The only way to get him through this is to play him.
Right.
Period. Just put him out there. And I anticipate that we're going to see a rookie quarterback in Las Vegas. But I want to get to the 10-yard pass situation.
Yes.
Okay. I'm not giving Dillon Gabriel a pass, but I also want to point out for Shedeur Sanders has thrown the ball further down the field than Dillon Gabriel. But I want to say this. Joe Burrow came in the league, and nobody now doubts that Joe Burrow is a good quarterback. But it took him almost 4 games before he threw the ball more than 10 yards in the air past the line of scrimmage. Yeah. Everything was close to the line of scrimmage. And everyone after 4 games was like, oh, my God, this guy can't throw the ball further than 10 yards. And we all know that's not true. There's just a learning curve. And for whatever reason, Dillon Gabriel's learning curve is longer than the average quarterback. And I think that's because he's short and he just can't see what he's doing. Yeah. That's what I think is happening.
Okay.
That, and I think, he's like perpetual butthead. I mean, I heard he had a concussion. I'm just like, how do you know if he had a concussion or not? He talks like butthead to start with. Like,
he really does.
That could just be his baseline. Like,
yeah, no, I agree. That's the part that I just get really frustrated about when I think about the love affair that Kevin Stefanski has with Dillon Gabriel. It was reported that that Shedeur Sanders does video a coach's meeting with Coach Stefanski. It sounds like every day. So that's good. That
I have a hard time believing. I have a hard time believing
that that's actually happening.
No, I have a hard time believing any conspiracy theorist is out there, right? I've been in too many coaches' rooms and too many locker rooms.
Thanks,
to know.
Jeffrey. That's a good comment. I like Jeffrey's comment about Hawaiian quarterbacks and concussions.
I can't even go there. I'm just gonna say, I've been in too many coaches' rooms to know that if this player is going to help you win, he's going to play. If you can develop the player and he can help you win, you're going to develop him.
Yeah.
I can't help but believe that what we're hearing about them working overtime, the extra sessions, the individual sessions, I have to believe that's true. I think in the end, they want Shedeur Sanders to work. Why would you pick him if you didn't? Now, maybe he got into the building and you're like, oh my God, this guy is further behind than we could have ever imagined.
Right.
And they're putting him up to speed. But Patrick Mahomes didn't play at all his rookie year. And how many people were mad about that? And Aaron Rodgers didn't play for almost 3 years. Like,
don't you think though? But
kill Shedeur Sanders to
don't you think though? Part of that, when we talk about Patrick Mahomes and especially Aaron Rodgers, it's the climate. It's what we're dealing with right now. I mean, times have changed. The internet, the X, all these social media platforms, all this instant sort of like, we got to know. I mean, fans are constantly belittling one another. And I just think part of that, I mean, Mahomes has been in the league, how many years? 8 or 9? I mean,
I don't know. Enough to
I don't know. I think that there's some of it has to do. Well, okay. So,
I will say that, like,
the Jordan Love 3 years. Okay.
They go adding on. Like, I think teams are patient enough to develop people to get them ready. Mm-hmm. Fans, X, social media, ESPN, Fox, all these people that make money off shows, they need to say outrageous crap to get people to watch.
Yeah.
I clearly am not doing that, which is, why my my numbers are what they are. But like,
yes.
I'm not going to go here and say outrageous, ridiculous crap just to get somebody to interact with me. But
Right.
ESPN will, right?
For sure.
Like Colin Cowherd will, Jim Rome will. I mean, like they will do this crap. Like Stephen A. Smith will do this crap. Those people will be the ones that are going to toot this horn. They're going to be Shedeur. And I also think you get some fans who who love football. And I'm not going to belittle anybody who loves football, but their knowledge may not be ingrained enough, or they may not know enough football to know what they're actually looking at when you see Shedeur Sanders on the field and him holding onto the ball. That's because he's a rookie and the game is faster and he doesn't understand how fast the game is. Holding onto the ball because he's never been forced to a Colorado to play in a timing system, right? He is coming from apples into oranges when it comes to the offense right now. And he is not only a rookie, he's behind before he stepped into Berea. He's behind because he hasn't had to play football in the style that they play it in Cleveland. So when you take him in the 5th round, it's a project. We're going to take a year just to teach him what we're doing. Whether he's the smartest man alive or the dumbest man alive, he's going to take a year to learn the West Coast style offense because it's a complicated offense. So you're behind, and you have to teach him to move it up.
He's going to look better on Sunday. For a variety of reasons, including the fact that he's going to get those reps. He's going to get full support from his teammates. I think the team likes this kid. They talk positively about this kid. Myles Garrett is going to have a record season. He's talking to this kid like, hey, man, our defense is going to come. We're going to support you. Get out there and play your game. I know these guys are having those kind of conversations. So I'm excited. We'll see what happens. Obviously, the Browns have only won 2 games this season. They may just win 3, but which is so funny to me.
I think they'll beat Tennessee. I do think they'll beat Tennessee.
Yeah, and I'll be there. I'll be up there credentialed with Northeast Ohio Sports Insiders. I'll be in there in the locker room. Maybe I'll get to ask Shedeur a question.
That would be an awesome game to see live. I'm just saying, John.
Yes, and I plan on being there live. So
there you go.
You do too. I'll make sure. I'll make note of that. I have those tickets. So those are Joel's tickets. So don't ask me for the tickets. They are sold to Joel.
I'll talk to my son. We'll see if we can make that game work.
See, now Jeffrey, I don't know if I agree with that. Because he's not going to go. They're not going to trade him for a year or 2 with Kyle Shanahan. I don't know.
This is why you're supposed to have Kevin Stefanski, right? He's supposed to learn under Gary Kubiak and that whole system that Mike Shanahan created with Gary Kubiak. And, Stefanski's supposed to be the guru to teach the quarterbacks. Even Kyle Shanahan will tell you that it takes a year. That was the whole thing with Johnny Manziel, if you remember. It takes a year to learn that offense. And it's year 2 that you start to see the progress in the offense.
That just even just the name Johnny Manziel, he's a piece of shit. I just the whole thing, just think about that, Browns fans, just step back for a moment in time and just pause with all your constant belittling of this Browns organization. They have these 2 quarterbacks, and Dylan Gabriel, who's a Hawaiian and kind of a duh kind of guy. But then they got Shedeur Sanders. At least these 2 guys are more passionate and caring about the football than freaking a-hole Johnny Manziel was. So we got some things right. You got to show some patience and you got to show some loyalty, Browns fans. This is a work in progress. It's not going to be fixed overnight. Maybe Shedeur doesn't work out. I know a lot of you don't think he will, but
he may.
At least it's not freaking Johnny Manziel, Joel. That guy, I just knock over. I don't want to punch anybody in my life because I tend to be, Mr. Positivity. But if I saw Johnny Manziel, I might want to give him a little punch or 2.
I'll say this, and this is the controversial take, and my work phone is ringing, and it should not be. Controversial take 101. You ready?
Yes.
So Baker Mayfield was successful at A&M because he had Mike Evans. And what Mike Evans was good for is you could just throw the ball up toward Mike Evans and he would catch the ball. I can't help but think that Mike Evans has a significant impact on Baker Mayfield down there in Tampa Bay. That you can just throw the ball up to Mike Evans and he'll just come down with it. And I'm like, let's see what happens to Baker once Mike Evans retires, because I have a feeling that security blanket isn't going to be there, and it's going to be a little tougher for him.
Sure.
So
now, Jeffrey, I see I think you've mentioned this before, and I understand what you're saying here. There was this interview between Joe Thomas and Johnny Manziel. And I, to be fair, Jeffrey, I haven't watched it completely. I just hate Johnny Manziel. He said enough negative things about Cleveland. He can't take it back. And I don't care if he wants to, and I love Joe Thomas as well, but I know Joe went through a lot of struggles here in Cleveland. He was a great player. Like you were mentioning, Joel, with Myles Garrett.
I mean, we watch these players come through, and you just got to appreciate them while you have them. I mean, I know I'm on Myles Garrett a lot, because I think he's an idiot, and I still think he's an idiot. But he can play football. I mean, this man is possibly the greatest defensive end to ever play football. And I've watched Bruce Smith when I was a kid. I watched Reggie White. I've seen their tape. Mm-hmm. Nobody does what Myles Garrett does. It is surreal what Myles Garrett does. And somebody could tell me, oh, hey, I saw this guy do this. Okay, stop telling me lies. What really happened? And it's like he's really doing that stuff. And so, I mean, yeah, he's worth every penny, but he needs to get out of his own way, because he's says stupid crap. Just stop saying stupid crap, and people will love you. Period. But anyway, so Shedeur coming up this week in Las Vegas. I expect him to play better.
Yeah,
I expect the coaches to kind of look, we're going to do a very vanilla offense. Let's take 10, 20 plays that you can run, and let's run the crap out of them. So expect very basic stuff out of them. Okay. I also think that they're going to rep those plays to the tilt so that he'll know how to read the field. And that's how you build up a quarterback. You start with 20 plays. Then you get to 30 plays, then you get to 40 plays, you get to 50 plays. So, and then you start doing variations on plays.
Rely on the running game too, right? Wouldn't you think that you'd want to?
You can't. This is what Baltimore did. Baltimore sat there and sold out the run. And I think Charles Davis was saying this during the game, and I was telling my son the same stuff. Then Charles Davis would say it to the whole national audience. I'm like, look, they need to start running play action on first down, because Baltimore's coming up to the line of scrimmage. They're selling out on the run, and they're screwed. So they need to run play action on first down to try to give Shedeur an open shot, to try to take off the pressure of throwing on second and third down, because if you get it caught in that game, it's going to be a long day. So I would expect more play action, more screens, more kind of quick, easy passes for him, just so that you can keep him out of those 3rd and 5s, 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7s.
Jeffrey's commenting here.
That's kind of what I'm saying, right? Shedeur needs to learn the basic stuff and get it very, very good, so that
there was
we can get to a point where we can add complexity.
There was one play that Dylan Gabriel, I'm sure he's done it more than once, but it was so vanilla. It was like watching my middle school 8th grade boys play football. I mean, the kid just Dylan Gabriel just stood there and waited for the hand, to hand the ball off to Quinshawn. It was so mechanical, and I'm like, this looks really silly. But I guess you just need to be simple, stupid, and
that's how you build confidence. I mean, nobody writes a masterpiece. Nobody writes Moby Dick, the first day they learn how to write English, right?
Right.
You've got to write essays. You got to write smaller books. You got to write other things before you can write Moby Dick. So let's just start with a 3-page essay, or let's start with an opening paragraph. Right. Let's start with the idea of a paragraph.
Yes.
Even before we get to a paragraph, let's start with the idea of a sentence, right? And before you even get to a sentence, let's start with the idea of a verb, subject, verb, predicate, and then we can get somewhere.
Start the game with Shedeur play action, drop back, throw a nice little out and up run. What is it, post move straight down the field to Jerry Jeudy or Cedric Tillman. Just open the game up.
The joke at my house is that the first play of the game is always a play action outside zone to the right with a quarterback roll out
Yeah.
It's like that is like Stefanski's go-to first play of the game.
The
like,
rollout on
Oh yeah, the
is that
the
what
fake,
he did in this game?
the fake outside zone to the right with the rollout backward.
Yeah, he did that in this game.
Oh, he did. When Stefanski calls plays, that is the first or second play of the game. Period. Like we just like, you know how you get like these sports betting apps. What's the first pitch they're going to be thrown? Is it going to be a strike or a ball? Right. Yeah. This is what my son and I do. What's the first play Stefanski's going to call? How many we have the over unders on? Like, okay, is he going to call the outside zone quarterback naked boot? First, second, third, or when are we going to get the reverse to the wide receiver that tries to throw the ball across the field? When are we going to get that play? I was happy to see last game that we had incorporated a few things. I want to talk about Tommy Rees for a second.
Sure.
Tommy Rees has got this team on the right track. Okay. I think Stefanski has been a terrible play call for a while, right? But I think Tommy Rees understands football and understands what he's doing. So I'm pretty excited, but there is going to be a regression just simply because you're going to have Shedeur back there. But he has run, like he's set up this beautiful, beautiful touchdown against Baltimore where they had the wide receiver. I can't think of right now, the straight motion, the jet sweep, right? The jet motion, right? Beautiful play. The receiver hit the ball up the middle. Then they run that fake motion across, right? So the whole defense, you can see it on the screen. The whole defense shifts towards the motion.
Okay.
Right? Then they boot Gabriel out the other way, and the tight end is wide open, hits him for the touchdown. There we go. But that play only works because you ran the jet sweep in the other direction.
Yeah.
And that's what Stefanski never did. And that's what I was complaining about, how the offense is completely disconnected. And that is what a connected offense looks like. You've got the jet sweep getting 20 yards, right? Yeah. So now you put the jet sweep motion in, make it look, you fake the jet sweep, roll out the opposite way. You got the whole defense running this way. You got people wide open on the other side, and it's an easy pitch and catch. Stefanski just never did any of this for Gabriel. And therefore, nobody's open because you fooled the defense no way, shape, or form. They know exactly what's coming. Tommy Rees is setting defenses up, and it's working. Now, the question is, can he do it with Shedeur? I don't know. Right. I mean, I don't know what we're going to do next. I don't know what we're going to see in Las Vegas.
So he just says we need another year. I agree. Sure.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know if we need another year to evaluate Kevin Stefanski.
If we don't win another game, we win 3 games. I know. 3 games. I mean,
By the way, I know everybody is wanting to know, the resume has been mailed. If you remember me talking about this, I was going to send my resume to Andrew Berry to tell him that stupid number 68 is god awful, and I could play better left tackle at the age of 50 than he can play at however age
he is.
You. So the resume is out there. I'm waiting to hear back from Andrew Berry. We'll see if I can get into this game. Then they bring in this other guy. I don't know what he was about, but he can pass block better than Robinson. I'll give him that.
Who, Lewiston or
Levinston? He can pass block better. He can't run block for crap, but he can pass block.
Okay.
And I think that gives him a leg up on Robinson. At least he can pass block.
Now, they were saying that Baltimore was doing a lot of blitzing and they were bringing the kitchen sink at Shedeur.
Oh, yeah. That's what you do to rookies.
For sure. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's like middle school game. I would blitz every play. Like in middle school, the JV team was like blitz every play. Like we're bringing the house.
Right. And that's why they've got to have these quick hitters. Right.
What about Tevin Jenkins at right tackle?
You know what? I didn't even notice the guy. So that's a positive for offensive linemen.
All right.
You know, you can tell when Cam Robinson's in the game. I'm just saying, it is that bad. So I'm hoping to get my shot. I'm hoping Andrew Berry gives me a tryout so I can prove that I'm better than Cam Robinson. I promise you today.
I'm anxious to hear back from Andrew Berry for you.
I can promise you today, like right now, I could put on pads and be better than Cam Robinson. And I've never said that about an NFL player before.
That's a pretty strong take.
I have watched Jedrick Wills for years, and I thought, God, he's terrible. But never once did I look at Jedrick Wills and say, I could play football better than that. I was like, you know what? The NFL is hard. Get it. But Cam Robinson is so bad that I could do better than he does right now. I promise you I can. So anyway, John, what else you got on the agenda? I think I've hit.
I'm done. I'm cooked. I gotta go. I gotta go cook, actually myself. So I have nothing left. We do have a Johnny Cleveland podcast coming up tonight at 9:00. I've got a guest coming. We've got Joe. His name is Joe Nichols. I work with him, former high school athlete, college athlete.
Nice.
Work with him. Like I said, he's a semi-Browns fan, knows a lot about Cleveland sports, has somehow become a Dallas Cowboys fan. I feel bad for him.
So he's like LeBron James, right?
Right. So anxious to get to talk to him. So tune into that tonight here on the Fanatical Elves Network.
Oh, John, did you see that the Kraken, Seattle Kraken, are in Michigan?
Oh,
they're in Detroit. They played in Detroit last night.
Oh, they did.
I think they're still close to the area. So if you're gonna
try to find the Kraken down here in Columbus,
I don't know if they're coming to Columbus. I mean, I was just kind of looking on my Apple app here. I got all my hockey news going on, but
I should think about that.
The Kraken are on a road trip. So the Kraken are going to be in Chicago tomorrow to play the Blackhawks.
Okay.
And I don't know if they're going to play Saturday. The Kraken are in Pittsburgh on Saturday.
Okay.
So, they're in the area if you want to make a little trip. Now then,
I just made a trip up to Buffalo. So that was a good time. My daughter's team, she was a former college player for the University of Buffalo. Great program up there. 10 years ago, their team won the MAC championship, got to the NCAA tournament. Then they went back in 2018. Where they went to the Sweet 16, played South Carolina. So that those teams, they celebrated them. And so very excited. Got to see a lot of her former teammates. And it was really a great time up there in Niagara Falls. So got to see the falls for about the 20th time in my lifetime. If you've never been to Niagara Falls, folks, it's one of the 7 wonders of the world. Go up there and check it out. You will not be disappointed.
All right. Speaking of not being disappointed, clearly
I got a dog behind me too. I don't know if you can see.
Clearly the end of a Browns podcast because we're not used to not being disappointed. So speaking of disappointment, we'll end here. And good luck to Shedeur this Sunday because Vegas is salivating over having a rookie quarterback. And what was Jeffrey? I'm coming on Jeffrey here.
Seeing you guys,
Jeffrey, I watched the line of scrimmage. Jeffrey, I've done all kinds of stuff on how to watch football. It really just kind of depends on what you want to see. I watch the line of scrimmage just because that's what I know. I know some people who watch linebackers. I know people who watch the defensive shell just because they want to see what's happening that way. I know people who are so interested in backfield action that's all they watch. Mm-hmm. But if you're watching the football the way it's broadcast, you're missing the game.
Right,
so,
right.
I'll agree with Jeffrey on that. All right, everybody, we will see you next week.
Thank you for listening to the What the Elf Was That podcast. Please like, subscribe, and tell all your friends to give a listen. You can follow host Joel Cade on Twitter @The Left Guard.